providing security to the demonstrators we saw yesterday. It's a good thing when the constitution is followed to the letter. I don't agree with the reason they were demonstrating and some of the language used because they were threatening to beat up some members and so on. I hope police now investigate some of those indiscipline cases that happened within a peaceful protest, yeah? But the idea of Ugandans peacefully protesting and they are protected is a good thing. I hope that government will keep doing this for all other intending protesters. So government, today we have given you your flowers. Even though I learned that as those who were peacefully demonstrating and were protected by police, there are some others who are even much fewer that were being beaten up. So please don't put us in a difficult situation. We want to keep giving you flowers every so often, yeah? Keep doing that. Honorable Speaker, I rise to present a very brief report on an oversight visit that I carried out together with the shadow ministers to Inspire Africa Coffee Factory. The Office of the Leader of the Opposition organized an oversight visit to Inspire Africa Coffee Factory in Ntungamo District. I undertook this oversight visit on 11th December 2024 together with shadow ministers. The visit was in line with Section 6E1 of the Administration of Parliament Amendment Act of 2005 that empowers the Leader of the Opposition to play the oversight role and keep the government in check. During the financial year 2023-2024, government undertook to establish a tertiary hub for last-mile coffee value addition in Ntungamo District through the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat in the Office of the President under a private partnership arrangement with the Coffee Investment Consortium Uganda and Inspire Africa Coffee, both privately registered entities. The construction of this coffee value addition facility began in October of 2023 and had been projected to be completed by December 2024. We were told that the factory is expected to produce various coffee products, including instant coffee, drip coffee, malt coffee, coffee energy drinks, as well as beauty cosmetics. However, since this strategic government intervention was initiated, various stakeholders, as well as policymakers, have expressed concerns with respect to the implementation arrangements. Some of these concerns include: 1, rationale followed to establish this coffee value addition factory in Ntungamo. Number 2, the selection criteria followed to procure the private investor. 3, the reason behind the decision by government to support the building of a factory, a coffee factory in Ntungamo District, while not paying attention to other areas known to produce a lot of coffee in Uganda. 4, capital investment. The exact amount of money that the government of Uganda is injecting into this project, because that's not known yet. And 5, projected economic benefits in terms of the anticipated employment opportunities as well as export revenues. Therefore, the primary objective of this oversight visit was to further interrogate and verify all matters related to the above mentioned concerns as elaborated briefly before. During the financial year 2023, government earmarked and allocated 37 billion shillings, that's about $10 million in the national budget to support coffee value chain development under a newly created vote 167 in the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat in the Office of the President. Also, according to the annual budget estimates of financial year 2024-2025, an additional 75 billion was provided for in the corrigenda to the budget for financial year 2024-2025 and approved by Parliament to support coffee value addition initiatives. To date, a total of 112 billion shillings has been appropriated by Parliament towards support to coffee value addition initiatives. Some of these initiatives include promotion of Uganda coffee globally through coffee trade hubs and establishment of a tertiary hub for last mile coffee value addition in Ntungamo District, implemented by Inspire Africa Coffee, which according to Mr. Nelson Tugume, the proprietor, is at an estimated cost of $122 million. That's about 451 billion Uganda shillings. It is important to note that these coffee value addition initiatives are not directly implemented by government, but rather through partnerships, such as the Presidential Advisory Committee on Exports and Industrial Development, that is chaired by Mr. Odrek Ruawogo, the Senior Presidential Advisor on Special Duties. There is also the Coffee Investment Consortium, a privately registered entity comprising of about 21 coffee companies interested in promoting coffee production and providing value addition in the coffee value chain, and Inspire Africa Coffee, an affiliate of Inspire Africa Group, a human resource organization initially established primarily to address the challenges of youth unemployment on the African continent. Government argues that the initiatives will significantly increase the country's coffee export earnings through export promotion of processed, ready-to-drink coffee instead of the raw coffee beans. However, since the above highlighted coffee value addition initiatives were earmarked and subsequently funded by government, various stakeholders as well as policymakers have expressed serious accountability, legal and policy concerns with regard to the implementation arrangement of these initiatives. Therefore, it was paramount to further interrogate and verify all matters related to the implementation of these initiatives, to ascertain their feasibility and value for public funds in line with the existing legal and policy frameworks. Let me run through the areas of concern, Right Honourable Speaker. 1, funding and transparency queries. In the financial year 2023-2024, the Government of Uganda allocated resources through the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat under the Office of the President towards the establishment of a modern industrial coffee park in Rashamire Town Council, Ntungamo District. We found that there is no memorandum of understanding between the Government of Uganda and this private entity. So the manner in which money was extended to this entity is not clear. Honourable Speaker and colleagues, it is wrong for taxpayers' money to be spent without any clearly defined binding relationship between the government and any entity, and in this case, Inspire Africa Coffee, and no documentation whatsoever. The proprietor told us that there is a co-investment arrangement that was ongoing between the parties, that's government and them, but there was no clarity on whether this arrangement would result into a joint shareholding, a grant arrangement, or a bailout. We recommend as follows, together with my colleagues. 1, government should come out clearly on the relationship that is existing between Inspire Africa Coffee and government that warranted the disbursement of public funds to this private entity. Number 2, Parliament should stop any further disbursements to this entity until a clear and rational memorandum of understanding is reached at between government and this entity. Number 3, government ought to come out with a clear procedure on how private entities can get government support. Uganda has a lot of young and innovative entrepreneurs who only lack funding. If the government comes out clearly on the formalities, then more Ugandans could benefit as opposed to just a few. The other concern is unfulfilled government commitments. Uganda is currently the leading coffee exporter in Africa and the second largest coffee producer in Africa, having exported 6.13 million bags in financial year 2023-2024, valued at over $1.14 billion US. In order to handle the value additional call, government stipulated under the National Development Plan NDP3 that 2 modern industrial coffee factories would be established, one in Bugisu and another one in Buganda, because these are the highest coffee growing regions in the country. These 2 factories were to be constructed by the end of June 2025, when NDP3 would lapse. This was a commitment by government in NDP3. We are coming to the conclusion of NDP3, and Parliament has even passed NDP4. But these plans have not seen the light of day, Right Honourable Speaker. It begs the question, why did government prioritize a private plant in Ntungamo specifically, which is part of Uganda, fine, yet it did not even attempt to implement and fulfill the commitment made in NDP3, which was passed by Parliament. Honourable Speaker, government should budget for, as a recommendation, and embark on fulfilling the commitment it made in NDP3 to build a coffee factory in Bugisu and Central regions. The capacity of Inspire Africa Coffee Factory is small compared to the magnitude of the coffee produced in different parts of the country. Besides, it's not practical to expect farmers to transport their coffee from far-flung districts in the country to Ntungamo for processing. The third concern was uncertainty about the exact amount of money so far injected into this project by government. During our visit, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, the proprietor was unclear about how much money government has so far injected into this project. So it becomes difficult to establish the return on investment that the taxpayer will get. For as long as this information is unavailable or kept as a secret, people will keep raising eyebrows about this project. In the quest for accountability, we ought to start by being open about how much money has been injected in this project. There should not be anything to hide by government. The recommendation, Honourable Speaker, is that government should explain to Parliament and to the country how much money has so far been injected into this project, the terms of agreement, how the taxpayer will get value for their tax money. The proprietor said the factory will be completed in March of this year. That's next month. I don't know if that is going to happen. We are waiting. And begin full operations the same month, next month. Assuming that gets to happen, the cost-benefit analysis of investing in this entity should be examined. We need to know. There should be clear terms on what is likely to accrue from this investment. Every coin of taxpayers' money injected into this project must be accounted for because it's taxpayers' money. In conclusion, Right Honourable Speaker, let me state this for the umpteenth time. The idea of government bailing out or offering support to private companies is not a bad one in and of itself. The problem has been that for each of the private companies given money, there's no clear procedure on how this gets to be done. And Right Honourable Speaker, I've tabled those reports here. Atiak Sugar Factory, Day Biopharma, Rocco, and so on and so forth. Additionally, there is never agreement signed between the government and these private entities to spell out the terms and conditions of the support extended. Most disturbingly is that there is usually no value for the money extended to these entities after several years. For as long as these concerns are not attended to, usage of taxpayers' money will continue to be shrouded in mystery. And there will always be suspicion about these bailouts, given that they are accessed by a few people who probably have connections in government. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Leader of Opposition. The House, you've heard what the Leader of Opposition is saying. Doug, we need a proper memorandum of understanding with the people we are giving money. We need to understand what government is doing, whether we are buying shares, whether we are giving them money just to support them. We need an MOU. And then I also want the Committee of Finance, Agriculture, Trade, Budget to take note of the concerns that have been raised by the Leader of Opposition since we are going into the budgeting process.